time management, how does that help you in your classroom? So I'm focusing on how to get your work done at work. It's not a perfect work-life balance, but it is possible to get your work done at work. So this is part one of a three-part time management series, and they're based on some blog posts that I've written, which I'll link below. So the first one that we're doing today is about the 3 habits that you need to develop in order to manage your time at work. So if you haven't met me yet, I'm Fleur, the face behind Aloha Monday Teaching. I'm also a middle school science teacher. I teach 7th grade. This is, as I'm recording this video, I'm going into my 17th year of teaching overall and my 6th in middle school. And I absolutely love middle school and I get to teach science. I think it's the best job in the world. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to focus on some different things about time management and what I'm going through right now as I'm setting up my classroom. Now, the first day back, we had no time in our classroom. So this is what my classroom looked like from the summer. It was clean, fresh, desks stacked everywhere, lab tables, everything was on the carpet. Here's another picture. Oh, there's my sign. So it's like that. And so for me this week, it is all about managing my time to set up my classroom because we have Meet the Teacher coming up soon and then the first day of school and we have to plan, we have meetings, we have all kinds of things. So it's back to the routine about managing your time at work. Well, let's begin and find out what these 3 characteristics or habits are that you can develop to manage your time at work. So the definition of time management, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, is the practice of using the time that you have available in a useful and effective way, especially in your work. So I know we have to manage our time at work, at home, and all of that. So practice, it takes work. Time management does not come naturally, I don't think, to anybody. It takes work. And the time you have available, you need to consider that, which for us as teachers, let's go ahead and just see what that time available is. This might be different for some of you depending on your contracted hours and your prep time and all of that. So let's just make a little simple one. So your school day, your contracted time is about 8 hours minus 30 minutes for lunch. So it's seven and a half hours of work time, Monday through Friday. Your prep is about an hour. Yours could be less, it could be more. We'll just go with 1 hour. And then before and after school, let's say total, you have about 30 minutes because we have duties or, that sort of thing. So our total available time to work at work is about 1.5 hours. I'm not including the time we're with students because that's our time with students and teaching, not doing the tasks that I want to talk about today that we need to manage. Useful and effective. So we'll talk about these habits, how it makes your time management useful and effective. So you're using your time wisely and especially in your work. As you know, as teachers, oh my goodness, we have so much. I think every job has so much work, but for us, we've been conditioned to think it's okay to bring your work home, that it's okay that we work till 5 o'clock at school, and then we bring our work home and we work till 10 o'clock at night, and then we work on Saturdays or Sundays. I'm telling you, that is not okay. Like, we should not have to live like that. So that's what this is all about, is to show you how it's possible to get things done at work by managing your time. So here are the 3 habits that I'm going to just go over today. And in part 2, I will go over more specifically how to do this at work with specific tasks and strategies. So habits, be intentional, prioritize, and be consistent. And I have a video and a blog post all about building positive habits as a teacher, but you can really apply that to any part of life. So you can watch that. I'll have everything linked below. All right, so let's talk about being intentional. So we know that we have that 1.5 hours of work time to get tasks done, like grading, planning, prepping, all those things that we do. That doesn't include meetings, because I know sometimes meetings get scheduled outside of our 1.5 hours of work time, so that's separate. So you need to be focused and intentional during that 1.5 hours. It might be hard for some people. I know it was hard for me at first to not go and socialize, because that takes away your work time to get your work done at work. I had that, oh my goodness, I used to talk for like an hour to teachers after school, and then I'm taking away their work time. So when you socialize, make sure you're keeping it brief, or be intentional and schedule that time in to go and socialize. That way you're not messing up your work time. Schedule your tasks the day before. So what I do, on Sundays, I do like a whole week. And when I say schedule, some people like to put things in their phone or on their computer. I'm not like that. I'm a paper pencil girl. So I have an actual planner, and I just write down everything that I have to do each day. So I schedule overall the week before, but I also make sure I schedule the tasks the day before what I'm going to do. So for example, Sundays, I'll schedule Mondays things at work. On Mondays, and I'll go over this in the other video, but I might write my newsletter or just prepare my materials or something like that. And also be realistic. What can you really fit in that 1.5 hours a day? So if a task is huge, you want to break it up into smaller parts, because you might not finish it in 1.5 hours, and then you get frustrated with yourself and you think, I am never going to be able to manage my time. So make sure that you are realistic with what you are scheduling in your 1.5 hours of your work time. So here's just an image. This was my to-do list. Well, what I did was I divided like I said, I'm a list person, a paper pencil person. So I have my notebook, and I have my little Fleur pen, because I like these. I'm a Fleur pen girl. Fleur. All right. So anyway, I write down everything. I brainstorm. I'm a brainstormer. And what I did here was I divided this in half into 2 columns. On the left, where I scratched out a lot of things, I got a lot done. Those are the one-time things, the things with deadlines, the district meetings, like the setting up different supplies or whatever. Okay. So those are the things that get done once. On the right, these are the ongoing things. Each week I have to do these things. So that's why they're not crossed off. Because I'm going to be doing them over and over and over again. But those things need to get scheduled. So this is knowing what you have to do so that you can be intentional with your time. All right, the second habit is to prioritize. So this comes from Stephen Covey, put first things first. And I take this list and then I schedule them. I write them into my planner. So some things just take priority over my to-do list, such as meetings. If a meeting pops up in my email, I write it down, because I need to know when that is, because that can affect my family later, because I might have to rush to baseball practice or something. So I write those down. And like I said, that might not go in your 1.5 hours of work time. It might go somewhere else. So I write those down. Then I write down items that have approaching deadlines. So that's the stuff from the left side. And one of mine, like for example, right now, my approaching deadline is Meet the Teacher Night. As I'm recording this on a Saturday, my Meet the Teacher Night is on Monday. And I've written down, yes, I'm going to do this part at home because this file is somewhere on my laptop, but I need to find my PowerPoint. But on Monday, that's when I'm going to really get everything ready for Meet the Teacher Night. So I write down things that have deadlines that are coming up. And then schedule all the other tasks like the grading, the planning, the prep. That's when you just schedule those things. And you want to get your bigger, I mean, you don't have to do this, but I like to do this. Get the bigger things done first, and then you can squeeze in those smaller things. And what I mean by that is, let's say during your prep one day, you got all your grading done, which would be so awesome, right? So I got all my grading done and I still have 15 minutes. I can do some of the smaller things on my to-do list, like put those safety posters up on the wall or something like that, which honestly, I usually have my students do that for me. All right, so here's an example of what my planner could look like. And obviously you can do a digital one. So I have them scheduled when I'm going to do them. So, and some of these are like regular, some of my routine things. Now, what's cool with where I work, on Wednesdays, we have early release. So we actually have more work time, but that's usually filled in with meetings. So it's not really a lot of prep time for myself, but when I do, I can try to write that in. Okay, so for example, this week, so yesterday, so today's Saturday, yesterday was Friday, so day 2 of being back at school, teachers only, I started setting up my room. I only had a couple of hours in my classroom, so I had to be very intentional and focused during that time. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten so much done. And it doesn't look like I got a lot done. I mean, it might. My desks are set up. I actually had help from students. So they helped me move my lab tables. And so now my room is, it looks nice. It's set up. It's ready for people. And what I'm working on now is organizing. You buy your school supplies. So I'm trying to fix everything. So I have my student area. This is a picture of my student area. This is the stuff they have access to. And on the lab table, you can see I've got containers and stuff. So I'm prioritizing on Monday. I will be putting materials in those and just put them back in the lab tables. And that way they're ready for my students when they come in. And those are like colored pencils and things like that. And I don't have a picture of it, but I also have clear tubs on another table because I want to organize some of my lab supplies. So my focus on when I go back on Monday is to organize and get everything set up, and then also to do my bulletin board outside. My other walls are pretty good. Okay, now be consistent. This is the third habit. So we got be intentional and prioritize. Now we're gonna practice it and be consistent. Remember, this takes practice. And if it doesn't work, show yourself some grace. And maybe you have to change something, and that's okay. But don't make excuses for it. Just be honest with yourself, okay? Because like I said, it takes practice. So be consistent. Now, if you're just starting on this and you're not sure where to begin, you could start with a task that you most often take home. For me, it was grading. Personally, I don't mind planning at home because I enjoy it and it's more creative, but preparing and things, I won't do that at home. But if it's on the computer, I don't mind doing it at home, but I rarely do. I do that stuff at work. So grading, that's probably my least favorite thing to do. But I used to take it home and I would grade for hours a week at home. So when you schedule it, be consistent and work on it at that time that you scheduled. And for what I do is I schedule it twice a week, 2 prep periods every week for grading. Sometimes I have to do 3 depending on what I've assigned, like projects. I need more time. I have over 150 students work to grade. So that's what I do. And so you do it during that time. Tell your friends at school, like, I'm grading, I have to get this done. And then they'll respect your time. People are understanding. So be consistent. And if you don't finish during that time, don't worry, it can get done later. You've done your best. Just reflect, do better the next day or the following week. Just try to avoid bringing it home and try not to stress about it because it's going to get done. Okay, so just be consistent. Don't give up. Show yourself some grace. All right, so let's wrap this up. We talked about time management. It's a practice. It takes time. We have to work on it daily, and we have to schedule things in. We have to prioritize and be intentional and focused. So we learn some characteristics or habits of being an effective time manager, which we can apply to any part of our lives with anything. And we must be intentional. We have to prioritize, and we need to be consistent. Is this going to happen overnight? That's such a cliche question, isn't it? It's not. Like I said, it takes practice, but it is totally possible. It just starts with you. So, your turn. What I want you to do is choose a task to start with, like grading, and be intentional. Schedule it during your week. And I know some of you are on break at this moment, but so try it with something else in life, like going to the gym or prepping your meals, something that you want to start getting better with your time. And then work on it during that scheduled time. Adjust it as needed until it's right, and then choose another task to work on. So I will have all these videos linked. The videos mentioned in blog posts were the blog posts for the other time management videos. And there's one about setting up your classroom. Since I mentioned how I'm setting up mine, you can watch that to see how I organize it and all that stuff. And also positive habits, how to build positive habits to improve as just in teaching, because we're always looking to improve, but even just as a person in your daily life, being that effective person. So go ahead and check those out. Thank you.